life, whether it's an individual's life or an organization's life, is like a random walk. The random walk is a mathematical concept, but the best way to describe it is kind of if you took a picture, a videotape of a drunk in a forest at night. He starts walking in a particular direction, bumps into a tree, sits down, gets up, starts walking in another direction, and the process repeats itself. The reason it is important to think about that way is because the rules of operating in a random walk environment, rules that make you successful in that, are different than they would be if life, in fact, was a smooth, well-developed, well-plannable entity.
For many of technology's most admired luminaries and entrepreneurs, one man's random walk through life and business stands above all others as a model to be studied, appreciated, and emulated.
If I had to pick one word to describe Andy, it would be builder. And I mean that both as a builder of technology, but also as a builder of companies.
I think he's one of the men who's made this great Silicon Valley, and without a doubt responsible for the most important high technology company ever.
I first met Andy after a series of pretty hard times at Facebook, when a lot of people in his position wouldn't take the time to see me, and he was always so generous.
I've seldom come across people who have that ability to be so clear and then, based on that insight, to take action.
Andy would participate on our board meetings by phone. And there'd always be the point where you would hear in that deep voice on the phone, "I have one question and one comment." And the whole room would pause, because you kind of would get in your crash position, like, what's coming here? Because there would be some wisdom combined with some big, don't be so self-satisfied, combined with a question that would summarize all the challenges the organization was facing in like a 5-word sentence or a question.
I got recommended high up in management, and as soon as I looked at the cover, I was like, wait a minute, he took the cover photo and he didn't take off his key card? For a cover photo on a book? It was the perfect photo for the book, because, that was Andy.
Whether the story of Andy's incredible life and accomplishments truly was the result of a random walk, or, as the rest of the world saw it, the result of uncanny vision, intelligence, and drive, it was a story that quite literally changed the world.
If there is such a thing as the information superhighway, Andy Grove is the man who has provided the engines.
To millions, he is perhaps best known as Time Magazine's 1997 Man of the Year.
A man with an extraordinary personal story.
He's survived both the Nazis, the communists.
He also embodies the immigrant in America.
Yeah, he came to New York City, went to CCNY, was educated here.
Ultimately, it was the free engineering program at City College that would suit the needs of an anxious but ambitious student. I was about to forget about college, he would say, until I learned about the city colleges. Friends told me all I needed was ability. Americans don't know how lucky they are.
Grove, who shuns the title Dr. Grove and who invites visitors at first meeting to call him Andy, is an engineer and an executive, an immigrant and an innovator, and he has done it one idea at a time.
Welcome to the broadcast tonight, Andy Grove for the hour. He is chairman of Intel. He is a former Time Magazine Man of the Year.
He is one of the leaders of the technological revolution that has swept this country and the world.
Explain that for me. Both what a strategic inflection point is and why the growth of low-cost PCs was one for your company.
A strategic inflection point is a change. It's not like business ends from one day to the next, but something in the texture of the environment changes that, however, require fairly major and profound adaptation in the way you conduct your business on.
Throughout his nearly 50 years at Intel, Andy applied his relentless energy and brilliant strategic mind to produce the greatest benefits possible for the company, its shareholders, and its partners. If Gordon Moore laid down the law, it was Andy Grove who enforced it, pushing the company to create ever more powerful and useful solutions.
I may suggest something Andy saw that it got done. He's the most direct and most organized person I have ever met in my life.
Yeah, he did have an incredible sense of humor, and it was a lot of fun being around him because of that. We had a team of dancing bunny people that would show up and perform at corporate functions. And at one corporate function, while they were dancing, he actually danced with them.
And he tackled us like he did anything else. You know, that wasn't a simple thing to do, but nobody knew it was Andy in disguise until he took his helmet off. I mean, that was pretty amazing. I love that.
He was a big fan of opera. As a young man, he daydreamed about being an opera singer. And he really had a particular affection for Tosca.
I had big dreams of becoming an opera singer. And I sounded so good to myself that I had this fantasy of somehow breaking into an incredibly difficult field. I don't know if I actually believed that would happen or not, but it was very nice while it lasted. I actually went to an audition, and that's when the dreams got shattered.
Everybody knew Andy as a true businessman, an engineer. What they might not know underneath was he was a very private man. I mean, his family came first, and he had a love of his family, and he regarded Intel as a family, and he loved that too.
I was never asked to join Intel. Gordon, in a fateful walk in 1968, told me that he was going to start a company. And I don't really know, and he won't tell me whether he would have asked me to join Intel, because I didn't give him a chance. I said, I'm coming with you. That was the second best decision and the second best initiative I have undertook in my life in the United States. The first one took place approximately 10 years earlier when I met the young woman who was to become my wife, who has stood by my side, giving life to the phrase better or worse, in good times and bad times, and most importantly, taught me the meaning of constructive confrontation. Shiva, would you come up here, please?
I wasn't really expecting to say anything. But in the same fashion as he wasn't asked to go to Intel, he never asked me to marry.
To so many of us, Andy's like a handprint on our hearts. He's there for the rest of our lives, exhorting us to solve problems, challenge mediocrity, be better prepared, and make a difference, preferably a big one.
Under Andy's guidance, Intel achieved staggering success, growing from annual revenues of just under $2 billion to over $26 billion during the 10 years he served as CEO. With his passing, the technology industry has lost a true legend, and the world has lost a generous supporter and a champion of diverse and worthy causes. But the heart and spirit of the man sometimes known as employee number 4 lives on, and always will.
We keep this love in a photograph. We made these memories for ourselves, where our eyes are never closing, hearts are never broken, and time's forever frozen still.
You have to be alert to the fact that life is a random walk of opportunities, problems, threats, and unpredictable instances. And the only compass that you have to guide you through those bumps and encounters is your passion. The bottom line, the rule that I'm advocating that might help you in this process of random walk is following your passion.